Welcome back my channel Old Crypto Coin and new video. The story of the famous Lincoln wheat penny begins in the early 20th century in the United States of America. This small 1-cent coin became one of the most loved coins in American history. Collectors around the world still search for rare wheat pennies because some of them are worth thousands of dollars today. In this video, we will explore two amazing Liberty wheat penny 1-cent coins that changed coin collecting forever. These coins are not only pieces of metal, they are pieces of American history that carry stories of war, economic struggles, and national pride. The wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical person. Before Lincoln appeared on the penny, American coins usually displayed symbolic images, such as Lady Liberty. The design was created by talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, and the coin quickly became famous among Americans. On the front side of the coin appeared Abraham Lincoln facing right, while the back side showed two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. Because of these wheat stalks, the coin became known as the wheat penny. The first coin in today's story is the legendary 1909 SVB Lincoln wheat penny. This coin is considered one of the most valuable and important pennies ever produced by the United States Mint. The initials VB on the back of the coin stood for Victor David Brenner, the designer of the penny. When the coin was released, many people believed the initials were too large and too noticeable. Because of public criticism, the United States Mint quickly removed the initials from future pennies. However, before the change happened, a very small number of 1909 SVB pennies had already been produced at the San Francisco Mint. Only about 484,000 coins were made, making this penny extremely rare from the beginning. Collectors immediately realized the importance of this coin, and demand grew stronger every year. Imagine being a young American child in 1909, receiving one of these pennies in pocket change without knowing its future value. At that time, the coin was only worth 1 cent, enough perhaps to buy a piece of candy or chewing gum. But decades later, collectors would pay enormous amounts of money for the same penny. Today, a well-preserved 1909 SVB wheat penny can sell for thousands of dollars, and some perfect examples have sold for more than $100,000 at major coin auctions. The rarity, historical importance, and public controversy surrounding the coin made it one of the kings of American coin collecting. The design of a 1909 SVB penny is simple yet powerful. Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears calm and dignified, symbolizing leadership during one of America's most difficult periods, the Civil War. Around Lincoln's portrait are the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty, in the year 1909. On the back side, the wheat ears represent prosperity and growth in the United States. At the bottom are the famous VDB initials that made the coin so controversial. Many collectors spend years searching for an authentic 1909 SVB penny because counterfeit versions are common. Some dishonest people attempt to add an S-Mint mark to ordinary 1909 VB pennies in order to fool buyers. That is why professional grading and authentication are extremely important in the coin collecting world. During the Great Depression of the 1930s, many Americans struggled financially, yet coin collecting remained a popular hobby because wheat pennies could still be found in circulation. Children searched through jars of old pennies hoping to discover rare dates and mint marks. Stories spread across America about lucky collectors finding valuable wheat pennies hidden in old piggy banks or forgotten drawers. The 1909 SVB penny became almost legendary among collectors, and many people dreamed of discovering one in everyday change. Even today, older Americans often remember searching through pennies during childhood, hoping to find this famous coin. The second coin in our story is the incredible 1943 bronze Lincoln wheat penny. This coin has one of the most fascinating stories in American coin history. During World War II, the United States needed copper for military equipment such as ammunition and electrical wiring. Because copper was essential for the war effort, the United States Mint decided to make pennies from steel coated with zinc instead of bronze in 1943. Millions of shiny steel pennies were produced that year. However, a few bronze planchets from 1942 accidentally remained inside the minting machines. As a result, a very small number of 1943 bronze pennies were struck by mistake. These rare error coins would later become some of the most valuable pennies in the world. At first, many people did not even realize the mistake existed. Most Americans were familiar with the silver-colored steel pennies of 1943. But eventually collectors discovered that a few brown copper-colored pennies from 1943 had somehow entered circulation. This discovery shocked the coin-collecting community. Experts confirmed that these pennies were genuine minting errors created accidentally during wartime production. Only a tiny number are known to exist today, making them among the rarest coins in American history. Imagine finding a 1943 bronze penny in your pocket during the 1940s. Most people would not understand its importance and might spend on a newspaper or candy bar. Yet, today these coins are worth fortunes. Some examples have sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, while the finest known examples have sold for more than $1 million at auction. The idea that a simple 1-cent coin could become worth so much money continues to fascinate people around the world. The 1943 bronze wheat penny represents more than rarity. It symbolizes an important moment in world history when the United States was deeply involved in World War II. Every metal resource mattered during the war. Factories worked day and night producing weapons, airplanes, tanks, and ships for the Allied forces. Even the humble penny reflected the sacrifices and adjustments Americans made during wartime. The accidental bronze pennies became unexpected treasures born from that historical period. Collectors carefully study the details of 1943 bronze pennies to confirm authenticity. Since these coins are so valuable, many fake versions exist. Some people copperplate ordinary steel. Step 1, the 1953 D. Lincoln wheat penny, is one of the most fascinating coins for collectors in the United States. With its classic wheat reverse design, rich American history, and the mystery of rare high-value errors, this small 1-cent coin continues to attract attention decades after it was minted. Today, we will explore the history, design, minting process, rare varieties, collector demand, and the hidden value behind the 1953 D. Lincoln wheat penny. This journey through American coin history will reveal why some examples of this penny are worth only a few cents, while others can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The story of the Lincoln wheat penny began in 1909, when the United States honored President Abraham Lincoln on the centennial of his birth. Before that moment, American coins rarely featured real historical figures. The Lincoln cent became the first circulating U.S. coin to display an actual president. Designed by talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, the coin carried a powerful image of Lincoln on the front and 2 wheat stalks on the reverse side. These wheat stalks represented prosperity, growth, and the agricultural strength of America. By 1953, the wheat penny had already been circulating for more than 4 decades. America was experiencing a period of economic growth after World War II. Families were building new homes, industries were expanding, and coins were heavily used in daily life. Millions of pennies passed through stores, gas stations, and vending machines every day. The Denver Mint played a major role in producing enough coins for the growing economy, which is why the 1953 D penny was minted in large numbers. The D mint mark on the 1953 D penny stands for the Denver Mint. Located in Colorado, this mint produced huge quantities of coins for circulation throughout the western United States. During 1953, the Denver Mint struck more than 700 million Lincoln wheat pennies. Even though this sounds like an enormous number, collectors still search carefully through old coin jars and collections because rare conditions and minting errors can make certain examples extremely valuable. Looking closely at the obverse or front side of the 1953 D wheat penny, collectors can see the right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Above Lincoln's head appears the famous national motto, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, and to the right is the date 1953 with the small D mint mark underneath. The portrait design is simple but elegant, showing Lincoln with a calm and dignified expression that became one of the most recognized images in American coinage. Turning to the reverse side reveals the classic wheat design that gives the coin its popular nickname. 2 wheat stalks frame the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above these inscriptions appears the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. The wheat ears symbolize America's agricultural heritage and remind collectors of a time when farming was deeply connected to the nation's economy and identity. The metal composition of the 1953 D wheat penny is also important to collectors. The coin was made primarily from copper, containing 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This composition gave the penny its rich reddish color when freshly minted. Over decades of circulation, many coins darken into brown shades because copper reacts naturally with air and moisture. Collectors often classify these pennies into three color categories: red, red-brown, and brown. Bright red examples are usually the most valuable because they preserve the original mint luster. Condition is one of the biggest factors affecting value. A heavily worn 1953 D wheat penny found in pocket change may only be worth a few cents. However, uncirculated examples with sharp details and bright surfaces can sell for much higher amounts. Professional grading companies carefully inspect coins under magnification to determine their condition. Grades range from poor to mint state, with the highest quality coins receiving grades like MS 65, MS 66, or even higher. Collectors especially love finding coins with strong mint luster. Luster refers to the natural shine created during the minting process, when metal flows into the coin dies under immense pressure. On an uncirculated 1953 D penny, this shine can appear almost like glowing copper under light. Coins that preserve this original brilliance after decades are considered special treasures. One reason 1953 D penny remains popular is the possibility of discovering rare minting errors. Error coins are mistakes created during production at the mint, and collectors are willing to pay impressive prices for unusual examples. Some 1953 D pennies show repunch mint marks, where the D was punched more than once into the die. Under magnification, collectors may notice extra lines or doubling around the mint mark. These varieties are exciting because they provide evidence of the manual minting techniques used during the era. Another fascinating error involves die cracks and cut errors. Dies used to strike coins experience tremendous pressure and eventually wear out or crack. When this happens, raised lines or unusual blobs of metal may appear on the coin. Collectors often study these imperfections carefully because each error tells part of the coin production story. Double die errors are especially valuable in the coin collecting world. A double die occurs when the design is impressed twice onto the die at slightly different angles. This can create visible doubling in letters or numbers. While dramatic double dies are rare for the 1953 D penny, any noticeable doubling attracts strong collector interest. Some collectors search for off-center strikes. These coins were struck incorrectly when the blank planchet was not properly aligned inside the press. The result is a coin with part of the design missing, and a blank curved area visible on one side. The more dramatic the off-center strike, while still showing the date, the more valuable the coin can become. The history of the wheat penny series adds emotional value to coins like the 1953 D. The wheat reverse design ended in 1958, only 5 years after this coin was minted. In 1959, the United States replaced the wheat design with the Lincoln Memorial reverse to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday. Because of this transition, many collectors feel nostalgic about wheat pennies and consider them symbols of classic American coinage. Coin roll hunting has become a favorite hobby among modern collectors searching for wheat pennies. Step 2 and last step of the year was 1956, and across the United States, millions of pennies were passing from hand to hand every single day. Most people never stopped to look closely at them. They were used to buy candy, newspapers, soda bottles, and small everyday items. But hidden among those ordinary coins was a remarkable piece of American history, the 1956 D Lincoln wheat penny. Today, collectors around the world search for this small copper coin because some rare examples have become surprisingly valuable. In this video, we will explore the history, design, minting process, rare errors, collector value, and fascinating stories behind the famous 1956 D wheat penny from the United States of America. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series is one of the most beloved coin collections in American history. It first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Before that time, American coins usually featured symbolic figures instead of real people. But in 1909, the United States decided to honor Lincoln for his leadership, honesty, and role in preserving the nation during the Civil War. The design was created by talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB became famous among collectors. The front of the 1956 D. Wheat penny features Abraham Lincoln facing toward the right side. Around him are the words, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the year 1956. Just below the date is a small letter D, showing that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Mint produced an enormous number of pennies during the 1950s because America's economy was growing rapidly after World War II. On the reverse side of the coin are two wheat stalks surrounding the words 1 cent and United States of America. At the top appears the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one. The wheat design symbolized American agriculture and prosperity. For nearly 50 years, this reverse design represented the hard-working spirit of the American people. The 1956 D. Wheat penny was struck using a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The coin weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. During the 1950s, pennies were still made mostly of copper, giving them a rich reddish appearance when newly minted. Over time, many coins darken into brown shades because of oxidation and circulation wear. More than 1.09 billion 1956 D pennies were minted at the Denver Mint. That number may sound incredibly high, and it is. Because of this large mintage, most 1956 D Wheat pennies are common today. Millions still survive in collections, jars, and old coin rolls. However, condition makes all the difference in the coin market. A heavily worn penny may only be worth a few cents, while a pristine uncirculated example could be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Coin collectors carefully examine pennies using grading systems. A coin in poor condition with scratches fading and where might grade good or very good. Coins with sharper details and less damage may grade extremely fine or about uncirculated. The most valuable coins are mint state examples, meaning they never entered circulation. These coins often display bright original luster and sharp details. For the 1956 D. Wheat penny, collectors especially value coins with strong red coloring. Fresh copper coins have a vibrant orange-red shine. Over time, exposure to air changes that color to brown. Because of this, grading companies classify copper coins into 3 color categories: brown, and red. Fully red examples are the most valuable because they preserve the coin's original appearance. One of the biggest reasons collectors search for 1956 D pennies is a possibility of finding rare mint errors. Errors happen during the coin production process and can create unique varieties worth much more than normal coins. Some errors are tiny and difficult to notice, while others are dramatic and obvious even without magnification. Among the most famous errors are double dies. A double die occurs when the design is accidentally impressed more than once onto the coin die at slightly different angles. This can create doubling on letters, numbers, or images. Some collectors have discovered in 1956 D pennies with noticeable doubling on the date and inscriptions. Although not as famous as the legendary 1955 double die penny, these varieties still attract strong interest from collectors. Another fascinating error is the repunch mint mark. During the 1950s, mint marks were punched into dies by hand. Sometimes a mint worker accidentally punched a letter more than once, leaving traces of overlapping impressions. On certain 1956 D pennies, collectors can see signs of a repunched D mint mark under magnification. These varieties can command higher prices depending on visibility and condition. Off-center strikes are another exciting possibility. During minting, if a blank coin planchet was not properly aligned between the dies, the design could be struck unevenly. Some off-center pennies show missing parts of the design while still displaying the date. Coins with dramatic off-center errors are often very collectible because each one is unique. Collectors also search for die cracks and die chips on 1956 D Wheat pennies. Over time, minting dies develop stress fractures because of heavy use. These cracks transfer onto coins as raised lines or unusual shapes. Some dyed chips appear as blobs or bumps on letters and numbers. Error enthusiasts enjoy studying these small details because they reveal the history of the minting process. The 1950s were an important decade in American history. Television was becoming common in homes. Rock and roll music was rising in popularity, and the United States was experiencing economic growth. While people focused on modern technology and suburban life, billions of pennies quietly circulated through banks, stores, and vending machines. Most Americans never imagined that some of these ordinary coins would later become collectible treasures. The Denver Mint played a major role in producing American coinage during this era. Located in Colorado, the facility struck millions of coins every day. Workers operated powerful presses that stamped blank metal planchets into finished coins at incredible speed. Despite strict quality control, small mistakes occasionally slipped through, creating the error coins collector's treasure today. When examining a 1956 D-Wheat penny, collectors often start with a date and mint mark. They look for unusual doubling, spacing, or signs of